Hey friends, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're thriving, and I hope you are finding solace and balance in these times. What we're about to do is jump into a few brainstorming sessions that I do with people. I give people these free 15-minute brainstorming sessions. If you know someone that wants help building their dream business, helping them make money from home, helping them make money online, helping them turn their idea or their passion into a business or even into a passion project that they want to do for fun, then feel free to have them text me at 310-807-1998. That's 310-807-1998. Check it out. I hope you enjoy. Copy the link, text it to your friends, and let them know. And I'd love to help anyone out who is a motivated, driven individual that wants to make a difference in the world. Here's the interview. Hope you enjoy. How's it going?
How's it going? Going good.
Good. Stoked to chat.
So I just wanted to tell you kind of my little backstory about me. So a couple of years ago, I was going through a rough situation in my life. Where I was homeless, where I was strung out on drugs and all that kind of stuff, and hanging around the wrong people, and I didn't graduate from high school. And then later on around that year in 2018, my grandpa had told me about this program called Job Corps. It was funded by the government and stuff. And I enrolled in the program, and I did the right things while being enrolled in it. Got my high school diploma, got my driver's license, and I got a trade. So now I'm a certified bricklayer too, as a backup skill.
Nice.
And now I'm enrolling into college to be a sports broadcaster.
Yes, sir. That's awesome. Yep. That's great. Yeah, man, I understand. I was houseless, I like to call it, for a few months too. So yeah, I know it can be tough, but those are the moments that make us, right?
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So cool, man. How can I help you exactly? It's a great story, and I appreciate you sharing it. It's vulnerable to talk about all the bad stuff you've been through, but I mean, like I said, that's what builds character. So however I can help,
right.
What the steps are for you, what you're looking to do, and if I can help in any way, I will.
Okay. So what I'm looking to do is I want to first off, I got to pass this test that I'm doing, which is with orientation with the college. So once I pass this test, they're supposed to send me a MacBook Pro in mail so that I can do my online work on. And what I'm going to do is when I get that laptop, I'm going to be doing my work, and I want to start a podcast. I want to create my own podcast where I can debate, talk about sports with some people, and just get on there, just talk about life, just talk about my past life, and just bring people on there and interview people, talk about their life, talk about ways to invest money, motivate kids, inspire kids, and tell kids if you can't, if you don't, college isn't the way, if college isn't for someone, there's other ways that people can make it out. You can get, you can go to a trade school, what I went to, got a trade. You can use trades, technical stuff bricklaying, carpentry, stuff like that. Just create a podcast where I can relate with a lot of people from different backgrounds and stuff. And I was wondering if I could get you, once I get it up and running, if I can get you to come on there for an episode or something and, just talk to people, interview you and just talk to people.
Yeah, I'd love to. You're going to Full Sail, right?
Mm-hmm. Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida.
Yeah. I've been there before. I actually spoke there before a few years ago, and I'd love to be on your podcast. So the concept is you're going to talk about sports. You're going to just talk with different people, bring people on. And then you also had a kind of another aspect to it, right? Helping kids, helping the community, you said?
Yeah. I want to do that.
Cool. Just a thought just came to mind. What if you would take an underprivileged kid in the community who loves sports, and then a really big, well-known sports person, and get them all on together, and it would kind of give the kid an opportunity to meet someone that he or she really looks up to, and then have a talk with those two people at the same time. Something like that, anything that can get you into a place where you have a unique show. Because as far as leveraging celebrities and things like that, it's everyone has a podcast, right? And it's if you are to, first of all, it's very smart that you're not just trying to wait until you get a big deal with a TV station, right? Because you're going to be sitting there for years and years and years trying to get something and trying to get to a point where you're able to figure it out and hopefully one day do it. But by having the podcast, it's in your control. You're not waiting for an opportunity. So I love that. But in order to really leverage your podcast to be something where big sports players or, other people that are, behind the scenes that aren't on the field, coaches, other sports broadcasters, things like that, to really want to be on your show, having a really unique concept would be amazing, right? Like the one I gave is just an example, but just finding a really good one. And then I would love to also talk to you about, like, once you have the podcast up, how to really, how to launch it correctly so that podcast really does well. And I can share that strategy with you too.
Okay. I will be interested in that.
Cool.
Okay. I'll be interested in that.
So basically what I would challenge you to do is to record like 20 episodes at least before you release your podcast, right?
Okay.
Get a lot done. So for example, like you and I are talking right now, right? So I like to create as many of these talks as possible and then schedule them out way future in advance to publish, so that a lot of people, I have a lot in it's called batch shooting, right? So you're batch shooting all the content. And the way that the charts work on like iTunes and stuff like that is depending on how many listens and downloads happen is how high you go on the charts. And so it's very easy for you to chart, in the top few hundred in a category that doesn't have a lot of podcasts if you're dropping like 20 episodes on the same day or in the same week, and then telling everyone about it. Like, so step one would be starting to gain an audience before you drop your podcast. And then step two would have like, anywhere from 7 to 20 episodes, and just drop them all at the same time and send everybody that to those links to listen to them. Because everybody else who's had a podcast for 5 years, they're only putting out 1 episode a week, maybe 1 a day, but you put out so many, then the algorithm on iTunes is going to be like, whoa, this is a lot of listens. And they're going to bump you up on the charts for a few days, and then you'll fall back down, unless you're really lucky and it's just like hits from the gate, right? So that'll allow you to like get a lot of exposure within your first week.
Okay. So you said drop like 20 episodes a day when I first drop it? And that should get like exposure and stuff?
Yeah, it could be 7 episodes. It could be 10. It doesn't have to be 20. I'm just, throwing out a number there. But if you record 20 and then drop 7 on day 1, and then just have a bunch scheduled out for the future, so you don't have to do one every week. What happens if you're sick, or what happens if you you don't feel like it, or whatever happens, or maybe you get an opportunity and you got to focus on that. You want to have like 10 in the can, so that if you're doing 1 a week or 1 a day or whatever, you have them scheduled out already, right?
Okay.
So maybe do 20, drop 7, and then have 13 just for future episodes, and then you can keep recording and keep building on that. Yeah.
That's smart. I like that. Hopefully with that, I should be able to like gain some followers, and like do some, like get, like meet some people and stuff, be able to network with some people, hopefully.
Yeah. And that's a big part of it too, is like, how do you get people to find out about your podcast? Right.
Right.
So there's a few different ways. Some of them cost money, but there are some that, even though it costs money, you're not actually spending money. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. So one way is getting press, right? Whether that be, people interviewing you and then you telling them about your podcast, magazines, the whole deal, anything, TV, radio, any way that you can talk to an existing audience, an existing sports audience, about your podcast, and then tell them about your podcast. Obviously that's going to do really well. What I'm doing is I'm looking right now for a company that can basically book me those, right? Because, but if you don't want to, it's like either you're going to spend a lot of time, or you're going to spend a lot of money, or a little bit of time, a little bit of money.
Right.
And, I could reach out. What you can do is just DM 500 people, and then maybe 30 of them are going to say yes, and then you're on 30 different podcasts, right? And so the question is, do you want to DM 500 people, or are you just like, let me just throw a little bit of money at this company and then they'll do it for me? It's your choice. It just depends on what you prefer, right? Then aside from that, so that's one thing, that's press. The other thing would be ads, right? So you probably found me from an ad, right? Either a YouTube ad or an Instagram ad. If, let's say you wanted to spend $100 a day on Instagram ads, telling people about your podcast. Well, then at the end of the month, that's a lot of money, right? That's like $3,000. $100 a day, you're spending $3,000 a month. It's like, it's a lot of money. But if you have something that's like cheap that you're selling, like, $20-$30, then if some people buy that thing, then you break even. So you end up spending $100, and then 3 people buy your little $30 thing. or let's just call it $33 to make it $100. So 3 people a day buy your thing from the Instagram ad. And now you spent $100 on Monday, but you also made $100. You're not making any money, but you're not losing any money. And now you can just get people coming in all the time. And so, I started running ads super recently, and already I have, all these people on my text messaging platform and on my email list that I'm not spending money to get. Even though I'm spending money on ads, I'm getting the money back. So that's two ways that you can start building a following before you launch the podcast.
Okay.
So those are just 2 examples. Of course, networking, things like that. And it's just built into the business model that you're talking about, though, too. It's like if you're interviewing people that are in the sports industry who have a following, naturally, you're just going to build organically. So you don't even have to do that stuff, but it just depends on how fast you want to grow, Like if you want to grow really fast, you utilize one or both of those strategies, press and ads.
Right.
But if you're like, you know what, this is just fun for me and I'm not in a hurry, then just start hitting people up and start getting people on the podcast like you're doing right now. Like get me on there. I'm not in sports, but I might be able to, contribute something to it.
Yeah.
And if you ask, another way to get great podcast guests is every time that you have a podcast guest on, ask them for 3 names of other people you think that they should interview. And then you have, for every person you interview, you have 3 other leads. And that will build your network, man. You're going to have a huge network in no time if you do that.
And then one more thing about my degree. My degree is linked to Dan Patrick.
Okay.
Like his name is going to be on it, and like from time to time he bring in like people like from ESPN that comes out there that does like Sports Center and stuff, co-host Sports Center and stuff, and like that are active in the industry to speak to us and stuff, like Jay Harris, Kevin Gundy, people like that who we can network with and stuff.
Right. So you can leverage that too. Yeah. So what are you thinking about doing as far as that, like leveraging? How would you leverage that?
Well, like, because like they do like panels and stuff, and like after the panels, they ask people like who all have questions, and they ask them like to ask them questions, and I would probably like ask them some questions, like how did they get their foot in the door with the business and stuff like that.
Yeah, you could even, if you want to. I don't want to put too much on your plate. I think I almost hesitate to say it because I could say you could also start building enough information so that you could start teaching people like a more process, like an online course or something like that of how to get in the industry by asking everyone who already has. But I think it's good what you're doing now. Like, don't put too much on your plate. Just do the podcast for now.
Okay.
And over time, maybe after you've done that for a year or 2, you're like, you know what? I'm ready to teach people this too, because I've interviewed 500 people or 200 people or whatever it is. But yeah, take advantage of Full Sail because you there's a lot of connections there. You can be interviewing tons of people. I think you got it, man. I think, so many people that I talk to on these calls, they have 50 ideas. They don't know which one to do first. They don't know the strategy behind it, but it seems like you're just like, look, I want to be a sports broadcaster and I'm going to, keep it in my own sphere of control instead of going out there trying to, hope that someone else discovers me. It's like, no, I'm going to do a podcast. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to hustle. I'm going to find people. I'm going to network. I'm going to interview, and you'll get there, man. And, then it's to the point where if a network, is interested in you, you might be like, I don't really need you because I'm already doing my own thing. I got my own show.
Yeah.
And you can decide. You can be from a place of, of power, of abundance, and not even, having to like say, sure, whatever you want, pay me whatever you want. Instead, you're like, well, I got this other thing going on that's really valuable. Let me know what you're offering and I'll consider it.
Got you.
Yeah.
That makes sense a lot.
What do you think the number one thing holding you back is? I think it's kind of
like fear of like failing. But like I didn't tell you about this, like because like I'm like a spiritual guy, and like I do a lot of praying to God, and like I ask God to lead and guide me in the direction that He wants me to go in. And like He showed me a vision of myself like sitting on a television screen, like talking about sports. Like He showed me that in a vision, like my whole body was shaking. Like He showed me that in a vision, like that I was going to be on the television talking about sports.
Mm-hmm.
And then He showed me in a vision I was going to have like my own TV show. Like I don't know if it's going to be with ESPN, Fox, or whoever, but He just showed me having like my own TV show, like my own show.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, as far as
I was
just gonna say, as far as the fear of failure, it sounds like you got that. Just let God take the wheel. And at any time you feel that, just be like, God, like you take the wheel, tell me where to go. Like, I'll put my foot on the gas. You just tell me where to go. You take the wheel. And if you feel that, fear of failure, just realize that that's, a hurdle that's been put in front of us to, because not everyone can get there. If it was that easy, then everyone would do it. But you got to overcome that. And that's kind of like the evolution of your soul, of just overcoming those internal challenges. But it sounds like you got it, man. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I turned the TV on in a few years and saw you there. Like, you're going to do it. It's just a matter of like every day, wake up and just like move 1 inch forward. Doesn't have to be 50 feet forward, just 1 inch. But like I was telling the last gal that I talked to, it's like, if you have like a calendar and every week you write down one thing you're going to do, it's like, you'll get there. But the cool thing about what you're doing is, it's not like, a lot of people, their problem is they're like, I'm going to be a sports broadcaster. And then they don't know like what steps to get there. But all you have to do is get in the rhythm of interviewing people. That's it. Your network's going to build and build and build and build. And if you're telling everyone like, I'm going to be a sports broadcaster, I'm going to have my own show, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, then because you're talking to people so often that are actually like, who have a network and who are trusted and respected, your network's going to keep building and building and building and building. So I would just get obsessed with like making that podcast the best you can, and just getting the best people on you can, and getting the concept to be as amazing as possible. Don't let having a real unique concept stop you from just starting interviewing people. And maybe on episode 30, you realize, oh, I can do it in this really unique way. Let me switch it up a little bit. But just start going and just start doing it. And if you have a fear of failure, or like worrying about what other people are thinking, just like do the work, do whatever you got to do, ask God, just whatever it takes for you to kind of like move that out of the way, and just like, part the seas, so to speak, on any internal stuff going on, and just push through, man. Like I talk to a lot of people, and I feel like you got this.
Okay. And I mean, like with my story, I mean, like I told you, I've been through a lot, and it's like I'm just still standing. I mean, like, I don't know why, or like how I'm still standing with all the stuff I went through, but it's like I'm just still standing. I mean, it's like I just got a purpose to do something great. I don't know.
100%.
I don't know. A lot of people that went through what I went through, they would have probably been quitted. And stuff, gave up on life.
Yeah.
But still fighting, still pushing.
Yeah, man. And you can take that story and inspire a bunch of other people that are getting ready to quit too. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Doing good. Real good.
Yeah.
Cool, Justin. Well, keep in touch. Let me know how it goes. And, just when are you going to have your podcast up? Do you have like an estimated date where you're going to do your first interview?
I want to target it around like June. I want to target it around June.
Okay. June to release it, or June to do your first one?
June to do my first interview.
Okay. And what's holding you back from just doing one, just like with someone from school or something like that? Just, is it equipment? Is it?
It's the equipment. It's equipment. Like, I don't have the equipment.
Okay.
And the only thing the college is going to send me is the laptop. I don't have the mics or a camera, nothing. They're just sending me a laptop right now.
Right. Okay. So even if you don't end up using these, I challenge you to do this. Just like we're doing right now on Zoom, just interview someone on Zoom. Like, that's all you have to do. And if you don't want to do video, you don't have to do video. You could just, take your phone, hit the recorder, and have them hold the recorder and just sit, in one of the studios at Full Sail and just ask questions. And at least then you're getting good, at interviewing, because interviewing that's a skill, and no matter how driven you are, if you're not good at interviewing, then no one's going to want to be on the podcast. So you got to like slowly but surely just really dial that in. You probably already have like a natural ability to do that, but just start now, even if you just say, I'm going to do one a week starting this week, and just make it a 5-minute interview with a random person at school. And then they can be ones you don't even use. Just start and like decide that you're going to do one every week. Cause as you get in the rhythm, then you'll start getting good. And then when you do your first like real one, you'll be ready, and people won't be like, you get an opportunity to interview someone really good, and you're just like, kind of like, oh God, I'm not even ready for all that. Reading off a piece of paper, it'll be pro. You think you can commit to that in the next week?
I think I can.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, it should challenge you, like makes you a little nervous. Like, oh, I got to do my first podcast in the next week. But again, doesn't need an intro, doesn't need an outro. Just have like 5 questions, just have a conversation. Maybe even find someone you're super comfortable talking with that you already talked with about sports, like one of your friends.
Okay.
Can you think of someone, like someone from school, one of your friends, anything, someone that you might be able to just ask a few questions about, ask a few questions with, do a little interview?
I got somebody.
Cool. Maybe reach out to them today, shoot them a text or something like that, or next time you see them, and just say, hey,
Mhm.
you know, you want to do a quick interview? There's actually, even since you know, COVID's going on right now and you're probably, you know,
Mhm.
not going to see anyone, there's this app right
Right.
here. It's called Tape a Call Pro. It looks like this. And basically it's TAPEACALL, tape a call. And you can literally record a whole phone conversation, just have a normal phone conversation with people. It's not the best audio quality, but it's a good start.
I will stay in touch with you though and let you know the
Definitely.
updates and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And if you need any, you know, you're at Full Sail, so people know about gear and all that stuff. If you need a gear list for podcast stuff, I'd be happy to share that with you too. Just shoot me a text. All right, Justin.
All right.
Hey, thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
I'm excited. I'm excited to keep watching your journey. So make sure you stay in touch.
I will. Yes, sir.
All right. Be well.
All right.
Hey, thanks so much for checking out this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a lot of value from it. And if you know someone who maybe needs their day brightened up, or someone who's just motivated and driven and wants to make a difference, or needs more advice, or whatever it is, I implore you to copy the link and send this to them. Shoot them a text or an email, or share this on the social media platform that you're on now. I'd really appreciate that. It would give me an opportunity to spread this message further and wider. And if I can help you more, then feel free to go to nathen.tv. That's nathen.tv. I have online courses, I have coaching opportunities, things of that nature, whether it be paid or free. I want to do whatever I can to help you live your best life. And additionally, if you want your own free consultation, I give them out from time to time, feel free to text me. My phone number is 310-807-1998, and I'll prompt you with what to do from there. So until next time, stay abundant, stay happy, stay motivated, stay driven, stay focused, and all the other beautiful things. Life is beautiful. No regrets on our deathbed. Chat soon. Thanks.